Hi beauties, my name is Beth. I am the creator and founder of Love It Yoga, and I came to yoga as a college student, 19 years old, self-proclaimed gym rat. I was an athlete my entire life. I was the first of 3 girls on the boys soccer team in grade school. I played street hockey with my younger brother. I played tennis, softball. I 4-year varsity lettered in soccer and track. I used to run laps around my entire town. I was a cyclist, a soccer player, a rollerblader, a roller skater, a skier, a surfer, a snowboarder, boogie boarder, a mountain climber, rock climber, scuba diver, skydiver. That last one's not true. Basically anything that you could do with your physical body, I was interested in. And so I even did Billy Blank's Tae Bo videos in my apartment with my college roommates. So I did kickboxing, I did actual physical boxing. And when I got to college, one of my roommates was going to a hot yoga class. So we went into this hot yoga class, and that was the last hot yoga class I took for the next 16 years. Not a fan of heat. But then my gym, Mountain's Edge Fitness in Boulder, Colorado, I was a gym rat, always working out, always lifting weights, was offering a Power Vinyasa Flow class. So I thought, yeah, I'll go for this challenge, right? I'll try yoga. Mind you, yoga was pretty new. Yoga only came to the West in like the 50s and 60s. So this was 2000 and yoga was still relatively new, but I thought I'd try it. So I go into this class. There's this jacked, like totally ripped bodybuilder guy who was pretty short actually, leading this class. So I was like, okay, let's see what this is all about. He led the class. It was the most intense workout I had ever gotten in my life. I couldn't believe that without using any weights and not being like a HIIT class or a cardio class where you're jumping up on boxes and stuff, that you could get that intense of a workout. And it wasn't until years later that I finally realized what the actual benefits of having a meditation practice are. So I was blown away, right? The amount of strength I needed, the stability that I needed, the balance that I needed, the flexibility that I needed, I did not have. And so I was completely blown out of the water. I had had a lifetime of exercise and being a sports player and stretching for sports, and yet this class was the most challenging thing I had ever done. So there was something to that, so I stuck to it. I unfortunately suffered from a herniated disc. Not unfortunately, actually, it was a big game changer for me in my life. So L5-S1, I suffered from a herniation, and so that laid me up. I wasn't able to move in ways that I had always been accustomed to moving, even with my yoga practice. So I still stayed with doing yoga, but I had to learn how to move functionally. I saw chiropractors and physical therapists and massage therapists and acupuncturists and acupressurists, everything, you name it. And what I found was new ways to stabilize my actual core. And what I didn't realize at the time was that this herniation actually being at the location of my sacral chakra, Swadhistana, that it was trying to tell me something. It represented much more than just a physical ailment. What I came to realize after taking my yoga teacher training many years later, 19 actually, and after working with all of these different therapists, life coaches, what I found was that I wasn't supported. I didn't feel supported or empowered. I wasn't thankful or joyful about being myself in my life at that time. I didn't actually accept myself. I didn't embrace myself. I didn't celebrate my body, my natural sexuality. I wasn't being open to allow creative energy and my own passions to flow through me. And this was really because I never really loved myself. So I didn't really come to the full realization of what yoga and a meditation practice could bring to you until about 18 years later, until about an entire lifetime had doubled up on itself. I was working a corporate marketing job in New York City, and I was going to the gym as I always had. This is after much recovery from my herniated disc, but I was still addicted to lifting weights, cycling classes, yoga classes. Never was taking meditation classes at the time, kickboxing, boxing classes, Zumba classes. I was doing all of this, right, for upwards of 3 hours a day. I was also working myself to death. I was completely exhausted at work, and I was taking on so much stress, and I couldn't figure out why everyone else seemed to be doing just fine, whereas I was a physically fit person practicing yoga, not meditation at the time, and I was miserable, and I was constantly sick. I had lung and inflammation in my throat and chest and head more times than I could count, and I wasn't a smoker. I didn't do any of these things that contribute to normally these illnesses. And so I realized that something had to give. I was overworking, overeating, overpartying, suffering from extreme exhaustion, and I was addicted to all of these things. And I was doing yoga, so what the fuck? So a lot of work with life coaches and going on yoga and meditation retreats introduced me first to meditation and then to Reiki and Ayurveda, the science behind yoga practices, that is actually the part that's about the physical body. And with a sequence of those events, I came to the realization that, one, I needed to quit my job. I had already embarked on this path to divorce my husband. I was going through a really rough time with him because of all this internal misery that was going on with me. And so I decided to quit. I quit everything. I left my life in New York City and I traveled the world for a year. And within that year, I began teaching yoga. I had already done a training back in New York City, and I started teaching yoga in Colombia first. Then I decided to do my teacher training in Bali. I taught in Bali for a while. Then I taught in Australia, in the Philippines, in Vietnam. Then I went back to the US and taught in New York and New Jersey and Colorado. And then I came back to Asia after another sequence of not feeling good in my life, not feeling good in my body, and began teaching in first Myanmar and now Cambodia. And I've been here for over a year and 5 months to be exact. So after doing my 200-hour, I realized so many things, and most importantly that a meditation practice is the key to connecting with yourself, your truth, and that all of these things that I wasn't believing before, I got from my daily sadhana practice, which is a ritualistic practice that you do for yourself, your own asana, your own meditation practice. And now, with all of those things, I resolved a lot of the trauma that initially started my disc herniation. What I can now say is that I do feel supported. I do feel empowered by myself and by the universe. I'm thankful and I'm joyful to be myself. I accept and embrace and celebrate my body and my natural sexuality. I'm open to infinite creative energy and my passions that flow through me, but most importantly, that I fully and wholly love myself. So I consider it an absolute honor to do this teaching, this sharing of these gifts and benefits of this practice. I love it. I'm deeply passionate about it. It's my work, but it's so much joy for me that I have started calling it my joy. I would love to help you on your journey to accept and love all of you exactly as you are, exactly where you are, through your journey, through the practices of tantric hatha yoga and meditation. I hope you'll join me, because I believe that we are all deserving of infinite love and that it is available. We have the source right inside of us, just waiting to be awakened. I can't wait to meet you and to work with you and to share with you all that I know. If you don't already love yoga, I hope to show you ways that you can do it in a way that you will love it. I love you already, but more importantly, love yourself. I'll see you on your mat.